Hey, welcome to the Writing Lair, another episode. Fans and readers and writers and lovers of the paranormal and the dark and the spine-tingling stories. Here we are again, coming at you again from the Writing Lair on a very cold January 27th, I believe it is, now that it's after midnight. I am planning on pulling an all-nighter tonight. Gonna do some writing on the new work in progress, but I thought I'd cut a quick little YouTube video for everybody because it's been, maybe a couple weeks now, I think, since I did one. So I'm trying something a little new. If things look a little different, I'm trying a different camera. I was just using my computer, my the webcam on my computer, and it only records at 720 p. So I thought maybe I'd try going a little higher up in definition. So this is a 1080p, and I thought maybe my video quality would be a little better. Audio shouldn't suffer too much because I'm not that far from this camera, and I think it has a better microphone. But I'm not using my really normal microphone, so hopefully the audio is up to par. But we'll see. If this doesn't make a big difference, then I'll just go back to using the webcam on the computer. But I thought, let's see if this turns out a little better. Okay, so I'm staying up all night. I'm lucky enough to have a job that forces me to stay up all night anyway. So I always pull an all-nighter the night before I go to my shift work at my fake job. My fake job that pays. Anyway, how do you like the shirt? How do you like the shirt, huh? Got my Jaws shirt on. Brand new, just bought it today. One of my favorite movies. I can't watch it enough times. All right. Anyway, for this episode of the Writing Lair, I thought I would just tell a quick true paranormal ghost story for you guys. So let's get right to it. How did you guys like that, huh? How did you like that cool little intro? Like, you got your paranormal juices flowing a little bit, did it? I had fun making that, and I intend to keep using it in these videos. See, the Writing Lair is always trying to improve in little incremental ways and make the videos more fun and more interesting and more visually entertaining to watch. While you're at it, if you don't mind, while we're here, before I start this ghost story, why don't you click on that like button and maybe subscribe, or I'll try to earn it. Maybe at the end of the video I can get you to do that if you haven't already. Always looking to build this channel, so subscribers and likes. Yeah. Okay. Let's get to it. So this is a true story. Happened to a friend of mine. I've written about it on my blog before. If you've read my blog, this might be a familiar story, but some of you, I'm sure a lot of you haven't heard it. So I will leave a link to the actual blog in the description. But let's get on with this story. So this story, excuse me, I gotta wet the whistle. Little Diet Mountain Dew. Okay, so my friend Rick, this happened to a buddy of mine, co-worker. One day we were working and we were telling ghost stories, and he says, well, I had something happen to me once, and of course I'm interested, and he tells me this story, and I'll just call him by his first name. I can't remember what I called him in the blog, so I'm just gonna call him Rick. And so Rick was young. It's probably the 70s, I'm guessing. And he'd moved out of his parents' house. So he's young. I'm guessing 18, 19, 20 years old, somewhere in there. And he's renting this basement house. And if you don't know what a basement house is, it's just this, it's like they dug a basement and started building the house and then stopped about 10 feet off the ground and just put a roof on it. So most of the house is down in this base, is down under the ground. And you actually go down these stairs to get in. And they're pretty economical for insulation and, heating and cooling costs. So they were pretty popular back in the day, and I don't see them so much anymore. I don't think. But he's renting one of these, and it's like the inside is like one big studio apartment. So it's just this big square, and his kitchen, his dining room, his living room, it's all in the same room. He's got his bed in the corner, and excuse me. So one of the problems, or something that was going on with this apartment of his, is it was always the stove seemed to be malfunctioning, or the oven. I can't remember if it was the burners on top or the actual oven part. But at night he would wake up because he would hear this click, and he'd open his eyes and he'd look over, and this orange light would be on the stove, and indicating that the oven was on. This was a little bit concerning to him. He's like, I don't want the oven coming on. He's afraid, maybe this is a fire hazard. But he found out that if he messed with the knob, he could get up and kind of crank the temperature knob or the on-off knob, and then turn it all the way over, and then turn it all the way back to the off position, and the light would click off. So he thought he was just having a malfunction, maybe with the actual light was somehow malfunctioning, it's the switch. So he wasn't that worried about it. And anyway, this went on for some time, and it would happen every other night, or maybe every night. I'm not sure, but enough that he was almost used to it. Like, click, the oven's on, get up out of bed, turn the knob, go back to bed. It was like this becoming a routine for him, and so he kind of forgot about it, and then he started getting to where he was sleeping through it. His mind just learned to tune it out. He's becoming so used to it. So one night he woke up out of a dead sleep, and he thought it was because he heard the click. And he realized he hadn't heard anything. There was no click, but he did look over and notice the light was on. And he was like, maybe there was a click. Why did I wake up? Because I didn't hear anything. I just woke up. He starts looking, he goes to get out of bed, I guess. He looks, and standing at the foot of his bed is this old woman. And he said she's not really old, not bent over and hunched, but actually kind of a straight back, very stern. She had a gray hair pulled back in a tight bun, and she was wearing a black dress, and he said it looked really old-fashioned, like big shoulders, and really flared out at the waist. It looked like maybe she was wearing a corset, and she had this. He said that she had this big red brooch hanging from her neck that really stood out, and she was just glaring at him. These intense laser beam eyes, and her lips are pursed, and he didn't think ghost. He just thought, who's this terrifying, kind of angry woman standing here in my room in the middle of the night, just looking at me? And when he noticed her, her arm came up, and she just pointed at him. And she got this angry expression, and she just said, "Get out of my house." And he froze in his bed. And when she said that, she turned around and walked through the wall and disappeared. Of course, I'm hearing this, and I'm like, what? And I thought, that is a crazy story, Rick. And he goes, the story isn't over yet. Listen to this. So he freaks out, he woke up the next morning. I don't know how he went back to sleep. I don't know if he did, because he packed up everything. Maybe he spent the rest of the night. He was getting boxes out, and he packed up that whole apartment, and he moved back home with his mom and dad that next day. He's like, I am not spending another night in this place. And so he moves back home that day, and then that night, the very next night, that basement house that he'd been renting and staying in caught fire and burned to the ground. I mean, to the underground. But it was completely destroyed by fire, and probably a faulty, the oven coming on like that really was a fire hazard and burned the place down. And so in reality, what he thought was a malevolent spirit turned out to be benevolent. It saved his life. And he's always wondered who she was. Was she some past relative of his that was acting like a guardian angel protecting him? She was scary, but maybe she had to be to really get her message across. So who she was, he has no idea to this day. But a really, I think it's one of my favorite ghost stories, and what makes it great is it happened to a friend of mine, someone who, it's not just some story floating around out there that I've heard. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's a true story. So pretty cool, pretty neat, a little story there for you. Hope you liked it. Now, if you liked that story and you want to hear more stuff like that, and you like that kind of dark and spine-tingling paranormal story, now can I ask you to go down and click that little like button and subscribe, and I will do my best to deliver more quality YouTube programming to you. And then I'll just end with a quick update of what's going on in my life. Things have been normal for me. Still working. I'm still working on the next book. I'm plugging away at it slowly but surely. Sometimes it's hard to find the time. I've been working a lot at the fake job, and it requires a lot of hours away. But I still try to get my words in every week. The sales and stuff and everything's going okay. There was kind of a drop there for a while, but it seems to be picking back up. I don't know if it was the new year, election madness. Nobody felt like buying books and reading there for a while. Maybe now they're just kind of, people are calming down a little bit. I don't know, but I'm happy to see some sales picking back up. I got a little nervous there for a few weeks. But I'm still as motivated as ever to continue on with this journey. And I want to thank you all who have joined me on Facebook and have signed up for my newsletter and are finding me here on YouTube and subscribing and helping me grow my tiny little writer's empire here. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the love and support I'm getting from everybody. And geez, I kept this under 15 minutes so far. So with that, you know what? I think that's going to do it for today, guys. I hope you're all doing well out there. And if you have any comments, please leave comments below. If you've got any true ghost stories, okay? If you'd like to share your own personal true ghost story with me, drop me an email or get a hold of me in some way. You can find me all over the internet, so I'm everywhere. Just Google my name. I'm on every social media platform. But hey, I'd love to share your story if you think you'd like to share it. And so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign off for now. And until next time, I wish you all happy reading.